even though for the most part, Congress loves to pleasure Israel, loves to pleasure their war criminals, loves to fund them, arm them, say complimentary things about them, give them dual citizenship. How do the people feel about the notion of arresting Benjamin Netanyahu? Well, lucky for you, there's a new Economist YouGov poll. It was published yesterday, and the results are fascinating. 49% of respondents said Netanyahu should be arrested upon arriving in the United States. The number is still too low. 49% is too low. Do better, America. Compared with 27% who said he should not. The partisan divide was clear. 68% of Democratic voters supported his arrest compared to just 24% of Republicans, which is honestly a big bummer. But hopefully that number continues to grow. And when you get into the meat of the numbers, and no, to the American politicians, I'm not talking about Netanyahu's meat. I'm talking, I know you love that, right? I'm talking about, the poll results. It's even more shocking. So the results are even more stunning when it comes to younger Americans, kind of giving you a little sneak peek in the future of this country. So people between 18 and 29 years old, you'll find that 58% are in favor of arresting Netanyahu, 17% against. And among Kamala Harris voters, 74% in favor of arresting him, 10% against. So Democratic voters in this case making me real happy. Additionally, the poll also found that 47% of respondents said they believe Netanyahu was guilty of war crimes in Gaza, compared with 24% who said he was not. The same partisan pattern emerged. 71% of Democrats held this view compared with just 20% of Republicans. And the poll also found that 47% of Americans believe Netanyahu's actions had damaged relations between the United States and Israel. That view was shared by 61% of Democrats and 30% of Republicans. Like, to our Republican friends, guys, like, you look at the behavior of Netanyahu and you think, nailed it? He's really nailing it? Okay. And look, this is obviously more prevalent among older Republican voters. But there's a real issue right now for Israel because young people in America, both on the left and the right, not only loathe Netanyahu, they loathe the US alliance with Israel. And I don't think that you can repair that. I mean, we've seen too much. We've seen too much, including members of our own military dying for Israel's wars. So, it's not going to work out so well for Israel once the older generation of politicians are gone, which I can't wait for. So, look, these aren't the largest numbers. Honestly, I wish they were higher. But they do demonstrate the growing shift Americans are experiencing now toward, not wanting to be aligned with Israel, not liking the leadership of Israel and their, government. And let's specifically look at the American Jewish communities, because I'm always curious to know what our Jewish brothers and sisters here in the United States think about what's going on, right? And there is a divide among those who see themselves as religiously Jewish, and then you have, secular Jewish people in America as well. And so according to an AP NORC poll, this was done earlier this month, among Jews with a religious affiliation, views on Israel's recent military actions are far from uniform or, luckily, uncritical. Only about half say Israel's ongoing military operations in Gaza are justified. Let me read that part again. Only about half, we're talking about deeply religious Jews in America. Only about half say that Israel's ongoing military operations in Gaza are justified. About 1/4 believe Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, if you're wondering, how do these numbers break down between deeply religious and secular? Well, 7 in 10 Jewish adults identified as Jewish by religion, meaning that they're practicing, Judaism. The other 3 in 10 say that they're either atheist or agnostic, but still identify as Jewish, ethnically Jewish. But according to the survey, they are still more supportive of Israel's actions than secular American Jews. About 4 in 10 religiously unaffiliated Jews say Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians, and only about 2 in 10 see Israel's current operations in Gaza as justified. The vast majority, 74%, say they are not to or not at all emotionally attached to Israel, a sharp contrast from other Jewish adults. So, I mean, public opinion in America is definitely shifting, and you're not just seeing it among non-Jews, you're also seeing it among those who identify as Jewish, and that's good news. And look, at the end of the day, I see Jewish Americans as fellow Americans, okay? My ire is directed toward the Israeli government and those in the Israeli population who think that genocide is okay when they do it. I think that they should really rethink the way that they present themselves to the international community, because people don't want to support you when you brazenly defend the slaughter of innocents. And that's what they do every day. So, not good.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.